Perfect timing. All right, let me know. Let me know when we're live. I think we've got green. We've got green on my screens. Okay. Let me know if you're getting anything on your end.
Things are starting to happen here. Actually, I think we're live now. Yeah, we are.
Oh, we.
Okay, let's do this. Nice. Some people waiting as well. That's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, very much welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mr. Roger Bergström. No, that's not how you say it. In Swedish, Roger, but in English, Roger. So it kind of works both ways. All the way from Stockholm, Sweden. And as always, yeah, we're going to have a chit chat back and forth when it comes to live video games and Tele. And I'm going to do that with my friend down below, which is Mr. Kidus Campbell. That's very
Sorry,
very formal,
I'm so
okay.
distracted. That like
What?
my window's open. I can hear Xavier outside, like in the bins, ruffling around. I think he's emptying the bins.
Really?
Yes. Like usually it's like it's dark outside and they're like in their room and stuff. But today is like nope, everyone's around. It's bright. People are vibrant. Hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast. What's going on, Nalu? Just a heads up for those of you who are new here and are wondering about the title and the show notes and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I always have to preface this because some people just come in specifically because of the thumbnail. We will talk about the show in the thumbnail later. Not right now. We're going to talk a bit about like life and stuff that we've been up to. And same for the games and all that kind of stuff. We'll come in a little bit. So, you know, bear with us. We'll get there inevitably at some point.
And hello, Miss A&R. You think we're quiet today, do you know? Well, it's the same strong voices.
Sounds the same to me. I don't know. It looks from on my end, looking at the levels on OBS, it looks the same. It looks like the usual levels. So I don't know.
You just have to turn up the volume.
Yeah, probably.
The headphones or laptop or whatever. But yeah, a week actually more than a week. We weren't able to be here last week. Sorry for that. But it is what it is. Life comes in between once in a while.
Yep, things happen.
Yep, exactly. So there's been things. I mean, I've had quite, I would say, my normal working weeks with my normal routines and my normal training and my normal music making and video making. But we have started to step up the game when it comes to rehearsals with the band. Because actually now we will play a concert quite soon. It's going to be on it's May now. June 7. So it's quite soon. So we've started to rehearse a bit more. We're going to rehearse tomorrow evening as well. Looking forward to that. It's fun. And we're going to play at a place we haven't played before on the south side of the city. It's in the city about the south, if you put it like that. And so that's what we're aiming for. So it's gonna be good. And as I told you just when we started, the weather has been a bit back and forth. I'm not gonna lie. Scandinavia, I don't know what to say. It's sometimes we've had some good days with 17, 18 degrees plus, and then it goes down maybe 9 degrees and it lands above 10, 11 plus. So I'm like, oh, come on, give me that summer breeze.
That good old-fashioned nice summer weather. For me, I will say this has probably been one of the best springs for me. You know, because usually it's the opposite way around. Usually you have a good spring, and my spring is kind of wet and rain and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
true.
It's actually been pretty nice. The weather's been great. It's been warm outside. You've got sunlight. Good. You know, it's great. It's great. I ran a 5-mile run over the last weekend. Did the Malo 5. Me and Xavi did it. Xavi beat me. He beat my time in the run. Yeah, he's.
I saw the pic that you posted. Nice.
I fell down. I fell down on the finish line. My knee got all grazed up. I don't know. I can't show you guys my knee properly, but
I saw that.
It got all grazed up because what was happening. I have a tactic for how I run, and keep it in mind, I have not been training for this run. I have been lazing around and living the regular schmeggly guy life of just being in the house and not doing much of anything when it comes to like exercise. I haven't even been cycling a lot, so physically I'm probably in one of the worst shapes I could be in for the longest while. And I get out there, and my tactic is always the same: start strong, ease into the midsection, and then sprint the rest. You know, sprint the end. And usually it works. Usually I get a decent time that I'm happy with. You know, happy enough. And you know, at the end of every race, I think I could have done better. I could have pushed myself a bit more.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this year, Marlo, I'm running, Rog, and I'm telling you, I get to the midsection and I am winded. I am like, whew, whew, this is so much.
yeah.
So we got halfway through the race, and I stopped for water, and then I couldn't get back up to speed. I was just lazing around, people going past me. I'm like, oh, it's horrible. But Xavier, he sort of slowed down with me, and I was like, no, go on, you got this, go. So he kept going, and he did a better time than me. He was 5 minutes faster than me for the race, which was great. Shout out to Xavier, he did amazing, made me proud.
That's awesome.
So he finished the race. He did good. It was all good and dandy. I finished 5 minutes after him, but as I was coming into the end, I'm sprinting to, let me just make my time as best as possible.
Yeah.
And these people are, so how they have it, there's like a walk path. It's a pathway where people run into the section of the park where the beginning and the end is. And they've got these sort of like netting things on the sides to people who are watching can stay outside of it, so they're not in the area where people are running. And as I'm sprinting in, there's some people walking there with their kids, and there's a little girl walking in front of me, and they're not facing me, they're facing away, so they're walking, but it's sort of like they're cutting across the pathway that I'm sprinting down full tilt, going past people. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do a good time. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I get to around this little girl. She walks right in front of me, and obviously I'm not gonna run into someone's little kid, so I try to veer around her. And as I'm going around her, my foot tangles up in the netting, and I flip. I just went over,
shit.
Landed, got up, felt the bruise, caught my breath for a few seconds, and then started running again, and made it over the finishing line. And I was so winded, I sat down on the ground. I was like, oh, I feel so bent and broken. So many things hurt. But I got my medal, and my brother said something to me really wise. He said to me at the end of the race, when I told him that I fell down and stuff like that, he said to me, he was like, this should be a lesson to you. He said essentially that had you trained for the race, you would not probably have been in the situation where you would have tripped over, around this little girl. Because I was like, why would people have their kids walking on the walk path and blah blah blah? And he's like, no. He always says this to me. So always see where you can take responsibility in a situation that you end up in, even if it is someone else has a bigger part to play or whatever. Try to see where your responsibility lies in that. And it was profound, because he was right. Had I trained, I would not be running that late in the race, and I would not have run into that family crossing across the walk path. So I took that L. I finished my race. I got my medal. I gave Xavier a hug, and we came back home. It was a hell of a day. So
nice.
Marlo,
when was this? When was it?
This was on, I think, was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. Yeah, okay. That was Sunday gone. So this on Sunday. My knees are already starting healing up again, which
they should.
That's my Wolverine healing factor. You know how it works. So it's already almost done.
Enhanced. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But when you do a 5 mile like that and you don't train regularly and stuff like that, you feel it days after. So
you will. Yeah, you will. Oh
man. When I do stairs, man, when I'm going downstairs, I'm going downstairs like this. So normally when I go downstairs, you go down the stairs, normally you're like, doop, doop, doop. I'm going down the stairs sideways. I'm like, yeah, 1 to the 2. that's how I'm going downstairs. Because it hurts.
The ache. Yeah.
The aches. It is, it's a hell of a thing. But yeah, that was kind of the weekend.
Fun that you did that though. It's nice,
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good to get out there and get at that stuff. But I do need to. It was a sign to me I need to be more. To get my exercise, because I was watching a video the other day that came up on my feed, and it's like a short story. Those YouTube stories and stuff like that. And the video is essentially along the lines of like, if someone held their hands around your neck and cut off your breathing pathways, it would take you like 3 seconds to pass out, right? You'd run out of air. So you need oxygen to survive.
Yeah.
If someone left you in a room without food, without water for, I think the guy said like 3 days or something like along the line, you would be thirsty and you would pass out because you need water to survive.
Yeah, true.
And if someone left you without food for like a week, you would start realizing, holy crap, crap, I can't survive. And after a week, you'd be out. You wouldn't be able to survive. So he said the same thing applies to exercise. You know, it's that we don't see with exercise, it takes longer than maybe food or oxygen or water and all that kind of stuff. But the damage, like in the same way that if you cut yourself off from oxygen, it can do damage to your brain and to your organs and stuff. And some of it is irreversible. Or starving yourself of food or water, these can do damage to your body that's irreversible. But you can see those things happen so much quicker, right? Because, you know, they are needed so urgently in the body. Exercise is the same thing. It takes a longer period of time before you actually see the damage that is done. And some of the damage can probably be reversible, but a lot of it isn't. And I listened to that guy talk and I was just like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, you know, because when you take like, and I use you as a good example, Rod, you know, you take such good care of your body, you exercise, you stay fit and so forth. And I know people who are younger than you, younger than me, you know, who they complain about all these pains and they can't do this and they can't do that. But you're fit, you're in good shape. And the people who I know who aren't, you know, they've got all these aches and pains and all this and that and so forth. And some people use the excuse of age, you know, like I know some people in their 50s who say, oh my God, you know, it's because I'm old, I have all these problems. But this guy, the guy who was talking about this, he was an older gentleman as well. And it made me think about like whenever I visited you and spent time with you and Annalie and the boys, and you guys are so full of energy. You take walks regularly. You take good care of yourselves. You eat well. I remember us having a conversation. You saying to me, you know what, like we cook food that's not really, it doesn't have a lot of salts and sugars and all that kind of stuff. It's sort of, you know, for lack of a better word, it's lagom. But it's you know, it's in a sense it's a balanced diet, you know. And then you take walks regularly. Like we finish the podcast, and for those of you who don't listen to the podcast long enough and probably haven't heard this, Roger will finish the podcast and he'd be like, I need to go for a walk. You know?
Yeah, I usually do that.
He's gone for his walk, and if he doesn't take his walk, he's like, man, I didn't take that walk and I feel bad, I don't feel good about myself and this and that and so forth. But it's a thing whereby like your body needs it. You know, it's one of those things everybody needs to exercise, and it's not one that is shined upon. And I feel that more so now that I've done that 5 mile and I felt so bad, so bruised, so broken down because I hadn't been taking care of my body. And the sign of how I felt after and how I feel now is a sign of the fact that I haven't been doing my due diligence in taking care of myself, in getting that exercise, taking that walk, going for that run, doing that cycle, you know. So yeah, just a word of advice, everyone. You know, we all, I put myself in the bracket too because I haven't been taking care of myself. We all need to do better with our health and you know, get a little bit of exercise, even if it's the smallest amount. Still something better than nothing. So
yeah, but that's true. That's well said. I agree with you.
So yeah, that's my week really. I really have not much else I can remember. You know, Xavi was asking me today. You know? He was like, Dad, what are you going to talk about on the podcast? Like, I can't remember what I'm going to talk about. I don't remember the week. Something.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. It's a podcast.
It's live. Yeah, you know, whatever the brains wants to highlight and talk about, that's going to be on the menu, so to say. That's how it is. I also see Knowledge mentioning the degrees when it comes to it's Texas for you, right? Because yesterday I was streaming. And there's a guy from Texas. His name is Joe. He's been around for quite some time. And he just said exactly what you wrote there, Nalu, that, it's 37 degrees Celsius here. I'm like, okay, that's that's a bit extreme. Yeah.
To be honest, it's different depending on where you live. Because in certain temperatures, certain countries where it hits those sort of temperatures, it may not be as humid. Like here in the UK, you really feel it because the air is really humid here. So if it gets anywhere near 30, oh my God, like you feel like you're choking, like it's so bad. But in the Caribbean, where it's not as humid, let's say for example Trinidad and Tobago, it's not as humid. It could get all the way up to 35 and stuff, and you're not feeling like I can't make it.
Yeah, of course, it is a difference for sure. I know exactly what you mean. I've experienced that as well in different places, and it makes a huge difference. It's like that. What I've described to you also living here. Sure, it can be a difference also summertime. But I've mainly been referring to or talking about the difference when it's winter and living here in the Stockholm area, like south area in Sweden, compared to how it is where I was born up north. Because that's, you know, it's not so humid. So like the air is quite dry.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like 15 minus 15 degrees during the winter or 20 minus 20, it's not that bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually pretty okay.
Yeah.
But if it's minus 20 here,
You feel it.
and there's a little bit of wind too, it's like
Oof.
you're gonna freeze, man. It's gonna go through your freaking layers of clothes. And oh gee, I'm never getting used to that. And then, yeah,
I've
sorry.
experienced it. Just
Yeah,
to preface, I have experienced that
yeah,
chill when you don't know it and the wind blows through
yeah.
you and you're thinking it's not that cold, you know. I don't need this many layers.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. It's true. You watch the thermal, you're like, okay, it's not that many degrees. It's got to be fine. It's got to be okay. But then you go out and you're, oh, mistake. Yeah. And
Yeah.
as you say, Nalo, I realize, as you say, where you it's dry air, but we have a low pressure system moving in tonight. Okay, yeah, it's gonna change now.
Okay. It's gonna get
Yeah, of
a
course.
bit of rain or
It's
something.
exactly what I described. We're talking about training. Me and
Hmm.
Isaac took the walk to the gym a few
Hmm.
hours ago, and it just started to rain a bit. It changed here. It was good, like around before, like morning and noon and everything. Then it changed.
Hmm.
But we were lucky. You know, sometimes you're quite lucky because okay, we dressed, we changed our clothes and looked out. It's kind of raining a bit, but I'm gonna take a rain jacket. But
Hmm.
then when we went out, it took like 1-2 minutes, and it kind of stopped. And
Hmm.
you could see, you know, when you see this wall of clouds that are
Yeah.
really dark and they're moving, but they were moving like not above us, but on the side. So luckily we could walk all the way, all the way. It's not that super far to the
Hmm.
gym without actually, you know, getting wet or something. So it was perfectly okay, you know.
The clouds they
Yeah.
winked at you as they went by. Next time, I'll get you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was a bit of like, shoo, shoo, go away, shoo, go away. Yeah, so you got possible severe weather tomorrow and through the weekend. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's see. I hope it's gonna be better here over the weekend at least. I mean, weekend. Come on,
It's
weekend
looking
started.
good here. Let me look at my weather report according
Yeah,
to.
I haven't even checked to be honest. Now you got me curious
Oh
as
god,
well.
this thing pops up all over
Yahoo!
the screen. Okay, so I'm looking at 21 on today,
Yeah,
17
wall cloud. Yeah,
tomorrow,
it could be that.
21 on Friday, 20 on Saturday, 20 on Sunday. It's just staying around even into next week. Next week Friday it's gonna rain, but it's gonna be 18. You know, so it's
Right.
like I'm just loving the weather right now. I mean, granted, we deserve it, right? We usually in the UK don't get this nice weather for very long.
Yeah,
So like
that is true. That is true.
I'm taking what I get. I'm taking the good
Yeah.
weather for now because who knows when it's gonna decide, you know what, screw it, we're going back to rain and we're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
suffer, you
It's
know.
recovering here tomorrow afternoon, I would say, and then it's gonna become better Friday, Saturday, and partly Sunday, and also Monday looks really nice.
Welcome
No,
to the
it's
chat,
gonna be
JB
better
Traveler.
now. I see that for this upcoming like weekend and beginning of next week at least.
Hmm.
If it doesn't change too much, but
Fingers
I
crossed.
trust my app. I trust my app. I told you I have this Norwegian app called
Hmm.
YR. It's really good. It's very
I
it's
tried
been
getting
proven
it.
yeah, it's been proven to be quite accurate, so it's kind of nice.
I tried
Hello,
it, but it
JB
didn't
Traveling
work.
Traveler. How are you? Roger that. Good, good. Oh
So,
man,
Raj,
yeah.
anything interesting happened in the week for you?
It's been more like as I told you, the band rehearsal was definitely interesting because what
Hmm.
we did is that we played through. We haven't done that in quite a while. We played through all the songs.
Hmm.
So I think we're talking about ish like 75 minutes of music, like, you know, and since and also to be honest with you, we talked about like working out and everything. Yeah, I work out and everything, and in pretty good shape. I can agree, but when it comes to then sitting and playing like drums like that and for that long time and intense,
Hmm.
that is different. So after that, I got some what is it called when you get like bluster? What is it called? You know, on your
Blisters.
blisters, yeah, on my
Yeah.
fingers, which I
Oof.
usually don't get. But it's been a while since I was sitting
Hmm.
drumming that much, that long, if that makes sense. So,
Hmm.
and when I mean, this was almost, I kind of laughed in the car when I drove back home after the rehearsal. I have to change my shirt too. I get sweaty and everything. I got this like cramp going on you know, like the muscle that is uh, on the front of your what is it like on the front side of your calf, like on the front side of your leg,
Yeah.
it's like this small muscle going. It started to cramp,
Oh.
and that's the one you have on the gas pedal, so it became a bit like itchy. I started to laugh because it became so weird. I think because it was all through the pedal work I've been doing with the bass drum, like the kick drum. So it's so funny. Oh
You
well,
know what? It's a
it
sign we
is
all
what it
need to exercise more, you know? A
yeah,
little...
exactly. And in this case, I was just not used to sit behind the drums for that long time. We have been chilling a bit more when we have been rehearsing earlier. So, well, that was a thing. But other than that, no, nothing else like very spectacular or different to talk about. So,
Okay, okay. Sounds good. I think I remember two things. I'm just gonna make them brief. My brother did come
yeah,
over this past weekend, and this was Saturday night before I went for the run. This
okay.
is I'm gonna out myself here. I drank Saturday night before I ran and went to bed like 4 a.m. So
Whoa, no
I
wonder.
forgot and I just remembered that. No excuse for my times. That was all me making that decision because everyone else was like, "No, Q, you've got to run," and I was like, "All right, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it." There was that, and then number two, I helped a friend move. She was moving from into a new apartment. I helped her move her stuff and this and that and so
Oh, you
forth.
did that too.
That was not on the Saturday. That was during the week. But those are
Okay.
the two other things I did this week that I just
Yeah,
remembered.
right,
So
right.
anyway, let's talk about some Telly. Yeah, let's talk about some Telly.
Let's do that.
I have been watching a show,
Yeah.
an anime, which is the title for the episode this week. Rod, you've been watching
Yes.
two, if I'm correct. Was it two shows for you, or was it two
Yes,
games?
yes. It's actually more. I've been very productive, but I thought I would choose two films just to talk about some contrast stuff going on in my watching. But go ahead, let me know about what you have been watching.
So what I've been watching is something really dark. Like when I told Safi about it today, I was like, it's such a dark show, and he's like Promised Neverland. For those of you who have not seen Promised Neverland, it's like this anime about these kids who are being kept at this sort of like orphanage, and they're being fed to monsters, and it's horrible. It's really, really horrible, right? This is not like that in the same sense, but it is dark.
Okay.
So the Kingdoms of Ruin, or Himitsu no Oku is an anime about, basically it's about like witches, like the witch hunts and stuff like that. So imagine the times when back in the day people had like, they used to hunt witches, and people, or they would say people were witches and they'd hunt them down and stuff like that. So in this you have your main character, who is this boy who is raised by a witch. There's this witch, she found this boy as a street urchin living on the street, and she decides to take care of him. Now, this is at the height of where they're hunting witches, right? So she raises him, but they're on the run all the time and so forth. And she teaches him a lot of stuff. She's very kind to him and so forth. So he loves this witch. This witch is his family, you know, because before her, he just lived alone on the street. And this main character's name is Adonis. And the witch, her name was Chloe. So Chloe took care of Adonis. She's a powerful witch. She's so cool. She's got ice powers and all this sort of stuff. And this kingdom is run by these humans who are hunting these witches, and the king is out to get the witches, and he's like, we need to get all these witches, we need to get rid of all of them, blah 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 blah. And the humans have invented technology that allows them to track down witches using satellites and stuff like that, and use teleportation, and they bring them to them, and they can stop their powers from working and all this sort of stuff to get rid of the witches. And there's
Unhealthy. Yeah.
it's quite horrible at the beginning, because what happens is that all of the bad stuff happens at the beginning, like the really bad stuff. So this show starts heavy from the get-go. When it starts, you basically get to meet Adonis and Chloe at the beginning, and you're like, oh wow, okay, Adonis and Chloe, nice, cool, they're running on the run. You think it's gonna be like a body anime where they're going around together and they're living their lives and having fun and meeting new people and adventure. It's not that. Like, it's when they get in the first episode, they get pulled to this kingdom where the king is, and this king decides he's gonna get rid of Chloe, right? But he does it in the most gruesome way. So they hold on Adonis because he's a child, he's very young. So they're holding him down. He can use magic, but he's so small that these guards, they can hold him down. He can't really escape. And they use him as essentially Chloe is about to use her magic to save Adonis, but it switch off her powers. And like, we're gonna get rid of the witch and her apprentice. And she's like, look, it's not Adonis is not with me. I've captured him. He was just my slave, and I did all these bad things to him. He's innocent. It's just me. You need to get rid of just get rid of me. And they decide, okay, they're gonna capture Adonis and lock him up. And the king personally takes a giant pistol and holds it to Chloe's head and, presses the trigger. And then after that happens, his guards open fire and her body gets ragdolled, and this is all happening and in front of a crowd of people, and they're cheering, yeah, get it, yeah. And Adonis is there crying his eyes out. He's just being held down, and he's like, what, you horrible people, blah, blah, blah. He wants to save Chloe, but he can't. And then they lop her head off, and the king holds her head up in front of the crowd, and everyone's cheering. And Adonis is just like, I'm just gonna end all of you. Like, when I'm gonna do it. And they lock up Adonis for like 11 years, and he gets broken out by some people. And you can imagine what Adonis would do at that point. It's a massacre. Yeah, right. He just goes ham on everything, everyone. He's like, no one's innocent. No one is innocent. You all cheered. The king is not innocent. The people of the tongues. And so you have people, this is 10 years later, you have, young kids who probably were babies when this would have happened, who are out with their little dates and stuff or walking with their friends. And he's just wiping people out. Just boom. Just indiscriminately. Everyone gets it. And Adonis meets this other witch named Dorica. And Dorica is, she was a fan of Chloe. Chloe was this really, Dorica says, Chloe was this really kind witch and she used to do all these nice stuff. And she's like, she wouldn't be happy with Adonis doing these things. Yeah. Adonis is like, look, I know Chloe wouldn't like it, but I don't care. Right? So the show is mainly about Adonis seeking revenge, and Dorica trying to stop Adonis, but also to protect him. And the whole shenanigans and all that kind of stuff that happens along the way. A lot of things get revealed later in the series as to why this is all happening. It just isn't happening out of nowhere. There's a lot of reasons why things are happening. The series is a 12 series anime, so 12 episodes so far. I believe I'm probably about 10 episodes or 9 episodes in. I don't really like Dorica as a character. I find Dorica annoying because she's one of those goody two shoes characters who sees everything so nice in the world and, oh, we could all be friends and we could make it all work. And Adonis is is realistic. He's like, look, the world is full of horrible people. There are bad things that happen. I am just doing my due diligence for what I need to do. Right? These people took away Chloe from me, and at this point, I have nothing else to live for. I am just, that's it. It is, they deserve what they're getting. That's essentially along the lines that Adonis is going about. And I'll be honest, right? It's easy to pass judgment on Adonis and say, oh, Adonis, bad guy. But at the same time, I think most of us, if we put someone that we love so dearly, like let's say our kids or mom or someone we love so dearly in the same situation as Chloe, where the exact same thing happens to them that happened to Chloe, I think most of us would empathize with Adonis and say, you know what, yeah, Adonis ain't wrong. Adonis is doing what Adonis gotta do. But Dorica is like, no, I believe in the world, and I believe in everything and this and that and so forth, and we need to help people. And I get Dorica, and in most anime, I'm a Dorica fan. But in this anime, after watching what they did to Chloe, I was just like, look, Adonis. When Adonis was doing stuff, I was just like, look, you know what? They deserve it. Like, you know what? They deserve it. Adonis, do your thing, buddy boy. You do you, There's a little side of me, like a little good person in me, like, you know what? But these other people were innocent and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And then Adonis is like, rah! And I'm like, you know what, Adonis? Do your thing, buddy. Do you, So it's a horrible anime when it comes to like the horribleness, but I think the best way to describe it, it's human nature. The anime depicts real humans, real kind of situations that have happened for humans, and it's a situation where in Dorica's case, she's trying to teach Adonis to forgive. Like, even though all these things have been done to them and all this horrible stuff and this and that and so forth. Hey, and Dorica makes a lot of sense in her, again, from the emotional side. When you put a family member in there, it's hard to agree with Dorica, but when you pull yourself out of it and you're just an external body looking at it, it's easy to understand Dorica as well, because of the fact that what Dorica is saying is true. You know, when what Adonis is doing is going to just make more people hate, and then it's going to be more, it's going to continue the cycle. It's not going to end, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you know, a portion of it as well, you know, like the king sort of, when they got rid of all the witches and stuff like that, he blamed the witches for all the bad things that happened to humans. Oh, the witches are at fault for this, the witches are at fault for that, and so forth. When we get rid of all the witches, everything will be great. But what happens where the story takes place is after they get rid of all the witches, the story takes place, Helium, it takes place where the witches are actually, in a sense, the people who would have cheered for him and stuff like that, they start losing out, because once all the witches are gone, what else is there? So the king, him and his people, you know, obviously he's got a whole country to run. There's a bunch of different people, and different people in politics, in the whole system of it, have their own agendas. So you have different higher ups in his military and all this, and they all have their agendas and they all have their way that they handle things. And so the people who don't live in the main city, they are struggling. The people who don't live in that city, the king, after he got rid of the witches, he starts attacking other cities. He's like, well, these other people, so no longer, we don't have any more witches, but there are other people out there who are a problem. We need to take over all these other countries. And it essentially, it just goes on and on. And so during the story, that, you know, the travels that Dorica and oh god, I forgot his name already. And Adonis go on. They start going to different towns, and they're seeing the sort of atrocities that have happened to humans as well. Because with all the technology and stuff the humans have, they go into a lot. Everything goes into the extreme. So sex becomes this whole commodity where people are selling their daughters and their wives to get sex robots that they can have their way with. And then there's a whole town they go to where the entire town just dies. Like, it's full of the men at some point get old and they die out, and the robots get sentient, and they're crying and they're sad because they're like, what is our purpose in life, you know? And then you have more and more sort of like, I'd say like comparisons to human sort of civilizations and depravities being sort of expressed in this series, that in a sense it does hit close to home in a sense, because then you could see comparisons in real life, but at the same time it's an anime and you can still get lost in the fantasy of it all, you know, the magic and the robots and the everything of it. So I would say currently right now it is a 6.2 on IMDb, on my anime list, sorry. I personally, after seeing as I've seen so far, would put this at least around a very good, which is an 8. I'm not sure if it's a 9 or a 10 yet, because I haven't finished the series. I don't know.
Yeah,
right. But it's at least around an 8 because of the fact, I think, one, it's well written. I think the characters are believable, because you could believe Adonis, it will do the stuff that he's doing. You could believe Dorica, because there are people in the world who see goodness in everyone no matter what happens. You could believe the king because, you know, people think that way about stuff. You could believe the people living in the city that the king has made for himself and all this sort of stuff, because as long as it's not affecting you, it doesn't matter. These people are living their lives. You can believe the people who live outside of the city, because they're not part of that city. So they're seeing all this goodness happening in that city for these people, but they're losing everything for themselves. And it's a sad anime, but also a really raw one. It's on Crunchyroll. And the theme of it is gore. It's considered a shonen, action, drama, fantasy, sci-fi. Came out on October the 7th, 2023, and finished in December the 22nd, 2023. This has only been one season. I don't know if it has a second season or if it continues. Probably Nalu would be able to say more, because I think Nalu has seen it as well. I haven't seen the end of season 1 yet, and if it ends after season 1 or if it continues after that point. But The Kingdoms of Ruin. Wow. It is a don't watch.
I hear it's.
Don't watch this on a night when you want to have happy memories because it's horrible.
I hear it's heavy stuff.
It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy watch, but I still think it's a good anime at the end of the day. Just pace yourself. Because that's what I did. I paced myself.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So yeah,
good.
That's my watching for the week. I've watched pretty much nothing else. The most of anything else I watched was probably like news and stuff on YouTube. So
yeah. That's the normal.
That's the normal
regarding
following the news. But yeah, I probably won't give. Sorry, what? It probably won't give something because of feedback. Really? Because of feedback. Nolly, you gotta tell me about this feedback, bro. I didn't know about. Is it too bad?
Yeah. I see you give it a 6 now. Well, as Q said, see what happens when it's all over, so to say. But I hear it's a bit on the heavier side of things compared to some other stuff you've been watching, especially also on Crunchyroll. So
yeah, now send me, if you have to send me feedback that has spoilers in it, like send it in my DM me on Discord, so we don't spoil it for people who might want to watch it. But as I say, it's a heavy anime, heavy stuff. Anyway, that's Kingdoms in Ruin. The Kingdoms in Ruin. Rog, what have you been watching?
Yeah,
and is it as heavy?
No, I would not say it's that heavy. This is more the corporate kind of films you would think of when it comes to Hollywood or things like that. So
box office.
It depends on what you think is heavy in a way. Things can be scary for some. For example, if you are claustrophobic, maybe the movie that I will start to talk about is not for you, which is Underwater. I just came across, it was nothing I knew about. It was just, sitting scrolling on, I think it must have been on either Prime or Max. I was scrolling and I saw this like Underwater. What's this now? Well, it's from 2020. It's starring Kristen Stewart. Maybe some of you guys might remember her. She was in the Twilight.
Yeah, never liked her though. I can't stand Twilight, but go on.
Also starring in Snow White and the Huntsman from 2012. Anyhow, I got to give it to her though. In this movie, this role it did fit her well. She has a completely different look as well. She's like has this very short, like
buzz cut,
white fixed hair, and she's like half naked the whole movie.
Okay. Maybe I need to watch this. Sorry, continue, Raj.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
For scientific reasons, of course, but continue.
Yeah, of course. It's scientific for sure, because we're talking about something very unknown out there outside of this station. Yeah. This is a crew. Well, they start up as a crew. They kind of die off. Almost like think Alien, but underwater. Something.
Oh wow!
A bit, without spoiling too much. But anywho, it's a crew. They are oceanic researchers, and they are of course work in very like deep sea drilling company, far down. And something weird happens, and it starts off quite. I like the beginning too, because it takes off quite early. Like boom, and it just starts to happen. It's kind of a mysterious earthquake, and the drilling facility located at the bottom of the Mariana Trench that you guys might know of. Some good placement, isn't it? Right, very far down. So yeah, it gets really bad quickly, and she has to, with some other few survivors, try to find their way through this quite big station, if you will, or complex of almost buildings down there, because what happens is due to pressure changes and something that is causing this earthquake, which isn't clear, at least not in the beginning of the movie, but it will be clear later on what's going on. They have to move also outside, like put on like these pressure suits and move in complete darkness, because remember, when you come down this far, it's dark. It's pitch black. And that creates quite a immersive kind of. They've done it pretty well, I have to say. And there's things happening. Oh, so all of a sudden, someone is missing. Where is he? Where is he? Can you see some traces in the sand or on the bottom that has been like dragged or something? So it's like a bit. What's going on? This is labeled as a kind of a psychological thriller, sea adventure, action. Yeah, sure, horror and sci-fi. Yeah. And I think it's all that. It's has a 5.9 on IMDb, and this is definitely one of those. I would give it a 6.5 maybe, which means that it's
It's
yeah,
above
it can,
average, but it
yeah,
could be
but a
better.
bit above average. A
Mm-hmm.
bit above average, I would say, as a whole. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too happy, completely happy about the ending. You know, that can always be a thing, right? When something has been building up and you're like, why did you do like that? But at the same time, okay, it's okay. It fills its purpose. It's a bit like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And you watch it and you are entertained and all that beautiful stuff. So I'll give it a like 6.5 ish kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing here when it comes to underwater. It's definitely, if you like this kind of how do you say? Yeah, this kind of style of movies, it can definitely be something for you. Again, I think she did a good job in this movie too. I kind of liked her. Yeah, it kind of, the vibe was right, if I put it like that. At least
Mm-hmm.
that's how I felt it. And I think the vibe when I was watching, you know how it is. Also, you have to be in a certain mood when you're watching certain things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this was perfect for me when I watched it like 1.5 weeks ago or something like that. So
Mm.
that's underwater for you. And I also gonna add something that me and my wife Annalie actually watched the other day, which is a new film called Havoc. This is the newest uh, movie, you might say, when it comes to starring Tom Hardy. So
Yeah.
Tom Hardy is a detective, but we start to understand quite early on that yeah, it's in a kind of a it feels almost as if you're like in Gotham City, if you think about it. High crime and the whole look of it all kind of get that feel, you know. So it's you start to wonder if Batman's gonna come around soon. But either way, a drug deal goes wrong, and a Bruce detective must fight his way through the criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son. And the politician is actually what is his name now? Yeah, of course. Sorry, Forrest Whitaker. Forrest
Mm-hmm.
Whitaker. You know, he's a good actor, so he's this there. And Tom Hardy is Tom Hardy. If you like
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hardy, you will get the Tom Hardy. I think he's good here. He's good for
Mm-hmm.
sure. There's kind of some cool like dialogues also. There's an actor. I have to see where is he now. I can't find him now. He was the you know, in the series Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like when it comes to the Adams family, he was portraying the father at that in the family,
Mm.
Mexican heritage.
Is it
Frack is
Timothy
his name?
Oliphant?
Yeah, that could be him. Yeah, yeah. It's
Was his
interesting.
character's name Vincent in this movie?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can find him, but I can't right now.
I'm seeing Tim. Let me see.
Anywho, there's moments that you know that you can find in the movie that is like it's kind of a bit of hilarious
Mm-hmm.
talk and dialogues. But foremost, it's a lot of action. It's quite some good action, quite violent for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Martial arts, one person army action in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it's entertaining for sure. It has a 5.7 on IMDb, about the same as Underwater, funny enough.
Yeah.
And I would give it about the same. Actually, that's yeah, it's interesting. The same rating,
Mm-hmm.
6.5.
Ooh.
It's one of those movies that you can skip if you don't feel that excited about it. But I think if you want something that is pretty cool, you can watch it too. So it's not one of the best Tom Hardy things I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. But I think this one was on Netflix when we watched it at least. So yeah, that's Havoc for you.
Mm.
That's what I've been watching.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Just trying to find this guy you were talking about, but definitely I think Havoc is the one I'd end up watching because you know Alex likes Tom Hardy, so anything he's in, we tend to watch it. So I could see myself watching this. I think when I saw it, when you sent me the show notes, the stuff you're going to talk about in the show notes, and I saw this, I was like, yeah, definitely something else would watch. I'm gonna have to add that to my list. you know.
Yeah. Do that. Do that and see what you think. I mean, it's good action. You know, it's
Noted.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Noted. All right. Sounds
Yeah.
about right. Let's talk
Yeah.
about some video gaming.
Absolutely. What have you been up to? Have you been playing something?
There's a game on the screen. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has
Ah,
been
awesome.
my video game of choice this past week. It last week was Golden Week on for for those who don't know, Golden Week is a week where in gaming they celebrate. At least for gaming, I can say. I don't know, but I think it's a part of other stuff as well. But essentially, a lot of Japanese games go on sale around Golden Week, and your boy was able to get his hands on some Sparking Zero, and I've been playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Not a lot. I kind of put it on with my brother. Came over to show him it because we're both Dragon Ball fans and we're really into the series. And it's one of those games.
As well. Okay.
He's a big fan. He even got his missus into it as well, and she loves it as well. So
wow.
I've been wanting to play this game for a while. And for those watching, if you're watching the gameplay on the screen right now, it is one of the most gorgeous looking anime games ever. It looks just like the anime. It's so beautiful and stylized and everything like that. And you can play these sort of storylines. You can play what if storylines. You can play actual storylines in the main anime and so forth. I think for me, the only downside I find with this is the way they do the story. There are sections where it's just written text and it just goes across the screen. And in Dragon Ball, there's a voiceover. There's a voice that you know that there's like, previously on Dragon Ball, blah, blah, blah. The Z Fighters were fighting, blah, blah, blah. And that they could have used that voice to like do the whole cutscene in between because it's all like still images and they could have just used that voice and they didn't. It's just like text with no audio. And then out of nowhere, there are certain sections after the cutscene ends where you have like an in-game cutscene with in-game gameplay and the characters start talking and you're just like, it's kind of a bit jarring. It could be done better, and I think that's that to me is the only downside with regards to the story. With the gameplay, it reminds me of Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I will admit I am terrible at the game. I used to be great at Budokai Tenkaichi, whereas this I feel I'm not there yet. I feel like I need to practice. I need to put some work in and learn the mechanics and figure out how to do things properly and so forth. So I haven't spent a lot of time doing a tutorial. It's just the game I picked up the game, it sends you to the main menu and you just choose what you want to do and so forth. And so I think I do need to go into the training mode. I do need to practice, figure out what each button does and how to do things, because I've just mostly been messing about and trial and error figuring out how the game works. And so far it's allowed me to get a decent way into the story, but there are sections where I feel like I could do better. Like in this fight that on screen right now, I could definitely do better in this fight, but I don't know how to do half of the mechanics, like how to sort of like avoid an attack. I believe it's block and you have to time it perfectly, but sometimes I do think it doesn't work and I'm like, am I doing this wrong? Is there something I need to press cells, or is it, do I need to practice the timing for this? But either way, gorgeous game, looks great. Let's see, what's the score this game got? On Steam, it is I like to go to Steam scores because I think Steam has the most realistic representation of what people think.
Most likely, yeah. It's
very positive on Steam with 44,000 reviews, but that in most recent, the reviews have gotten mixed. And I think that has to do with the DLC. I can read one of the reviews that someone put here. It says, sadly, I can't recommend this game, man. There's no single player replayability. The CPU in the story mode is just overdone, while the CPU in tournament mode is way too easy to deal with. Online play as well, filled with sweaters and cheesers galore. So some people are not happy with the game. Obviously, most of the reviews are positive. But at the same time, as I say, a lot of people have essentially along the lines of I've seen quite a few negative reviews based on the DLC. Some people have said the DLC is not worth the price, like for what you're paying, you should get more characters or more content, more stages. People are begging for stages in the game and so forth. For me personally, this is a great game just to kick back with my brother and my son and play. So I don't care. I'm happy. I love Dragon Ball. I'll play it. I'm not mad at that. And it's a cool game. Will I say buy it at full price? You can probably wait for a sale. You can probably wait for a sale. Probably try to get yourself at least the deluxe edition or something. But the deluxe edition is way too expensive. The $84.99 is too expensive for deluxe, and Ultimate is $94.99. I think that's still too expensive. I think maybe get it down for, I think just have a standard edition for like $49 and a deluxe at $60. I think that seems to be a reasonable price, but who knows, But
who knows?
At the end of the day, it's a good game. I think it's a good game, and I think you guys, those who like Dragon Ball, will like it. That's about it. What about you, Raj? What have you been playing?
Nice that you're playing it. I've heard good things. I think Adam played this game. I'm not 100% sure. Was it Isaac? Yeah, whoever.
Who's
One of my
playing it?
sons, I believe, played it.
Mm.
Yeah, I've been, as usual, playing a bit of this and that, depending on foremost. Most, as I said before, most of the time when I'm playing a game, it's related to a video that I'm about to do. So I go a bit back and forth between games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have though not made a video when it comes to the finals that I played. You may know this is the game that was released. It's about 1.5 years ago by the
Mm-hmm.
Swedish studio Embark Studios,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a game that it's interesting. It's kind of it's a game I've never played a lot, if I put it like that. There are
Mm-hmm.
things in the game that I like and
Mm-hmm.
things that I don't like so much, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that seems to be the case with a lot of people. So up till now, they've had a hard time to keep up the momentum, even though they are doing a good job. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say is here that I wanted to go back and see where they're at right now. And right now there are, I think it's season 6 that it's out. It was released at the end of March,
Right.
which means like adding some new, weapons and new map and whatnot. And they are very good at adding good looking like things for the characters and skins and everything. Uh, I think also the finals now. I mean, I've been in a lot of playtests like the last couple of 6-7 months, and looking into upcoming shooter games and whatnot. And with that said, and with some kind of perspective now, like 1.5 years later,
Mm-hmm.
I must say that the finals is one of few games that kind of stands out, if that makes sense. It
Mm-hmm.
has its own thing
Mm-hmm.
uh, regarding this, you know, like yeah, well, the game mode in or game modes in itself, and also the customization, but foremost also the whole destructive environment, since these are also Embark is partly people also from former, like it's former Dice developers, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
surprised they have that. uh, and I think they are on a good ride here, because even though the finals has kind of, as many games do, especially online multiplayer games nowadays, they tend to lose players because players are jumping back and forth between the newest hottest thing or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a tremendous feedback when it comes to an upcoming game, which is an extraction shooter called Arc Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I got into the playtest late, so I wasn't able to play so much. I just touched the PvE part in the game, even though it's a mix of, since it's a extraction shooter, it's a mix of PvP and PvP and PvE.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's a really, so far already, Embark has done a good job. It looks really good. It plays really well. Seems to be well optimized
Mm-hmm.
already. And people I could see in the community around, especially in the world of FPS gaming, it was a big like wow, like this. People were, oh God, did this? They start to hype it up, of course, which is usually not a good thing. but but yeah, so with that said, that's also one of the reasons I felt like I want to play a bit of the final. So I streamed it yesterday. I played with another Swede that's been around playing a bit here and there. His name is Vuk, lives on the West Coast. And then also, as I mentioned, talking about Texas and the temperature, Joe, that is, yeah, he's been around my streams quite some through the years, so we played together. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a good time, I must say. Also, I have to add also that since I have a new, or not so new now, but a better rig now, a better PC build,
Mm-hmm.
it also, of course, makes things much easier. Now I can, play the game easily on really high settings and have good FPS and
It looks good
just
and plays good too.
yeah, just focus on my gameplay, if that makes sense. Don't have to think so much about things that might, you know, uh, take down the performance or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So so with that said, nice job, Embark. I think they have continued to do good things when it comes to the finals, being a free to play shooter and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they are up to something when it comes to their upcoming game that is Arc Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't seen, they haven't released a release date yet when it comes to the game, but we'll see. I am not a huge fan of of extraction shooters. I play once in a while. I think I played more battle royale games, but now we can see that the battle royale genre is starting to it's still a thing,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, like Warzone and everything, even though Call of Duty as a whole has declined quite
Mm-hmm.
some. But the extraction shooter has become taken over a bit more because there are more developers also making extraction shooters than Battle Royale games, as it was a few years ago. With that said, I'm gonna keep an eye open for Arc
Mm-hmm.
Raiders. I of course gonna play it and see, you know, feel a bit more what it is, because Vuk that I played with yesterday, he had he must have played a lot during the playtest. He had like 65 hours in the
Wow.
playtest. Yeah, that's quite some.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, wow, it was, oh, it's so immersive, it's so fun. It's like, and I played just 2-3 hours, and I didn't encounter any other player, like
Mm-hmm.
real player. Went in with like 3 random teammates. I think it's teams of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, I had a good time like that, but you know, it becomes a bit like same. You spawn in, okay, yeah, well. So we'll see about that. But one game that I am looking forward, definitely one of the titles I'm looking forward to the most in 2025, that game is going to be released tomorrow, and that is Doom Dark Ages.
Oh, that's out tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh
I gotta
my
hop
god.
on Xbox Game Pass again and play it. So
Doom Dark Ages is out tomorrow. You know what? I'll be honest. This year might be a really good year for gaming. Because
yeah.
Doom is your most one of the top games you're looking forward to. For me, it's the one I've been looking forward to the most is it's advertising a lot now, which is Mafia Old Country, the Old Country.
Oh, okay.
That's been which is in August. So you're getting your candy sooner than me, but yeah,
Well.
Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I also just want to say to Nalo, no worries, no worries. If people have time, they have time when it comes to coming over and saying hi and everything. It's perfectly fine. I know how it is with life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy I can sit down and actually stream some. Also being a busy person, but no, yeah, as saying, Doom, the Dark Ages looks really cool. I think it's going to be a different experience from what I've heard gameplay wise
Mm-hmm.
from the former game or even former games, because they have been usually making them a bit different. I think if I got it right, someone said this is a bit more of a tanky Doom guy
Mm-hmm.
this time around. But I've tried to stay away looking, when it comes to trailers or spoilers overall. So I don't know that much, and I'm glad I don't.
That's the way to go.
So I gotta download it tomorrow. I think it's gonna be released during nighttime, our
Mm-hmm.
time, I think. So during the morning tomorrow, I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna stream it on Sunday.
Okay,
So
sounds
yeah.
good. If I am around and I see the notification pop up, I'll hop in the stream and check it out because I have no idea what to expect with it.
No,
But
me neither. Which is great. That's how I want it to be.
yes,
And
that's
while you're
exactly
on
it.
Xbox Game Pass, you can, if you want to, play a bit of good old Oblivion when it comes to the remaster. There was a guy at the gym, not today, but a few days ago when I was working out as well. He was like, "Hey, have you started to play the Oblivion?" Like, no, I haven't. I don't have the time. I mean, I played the original game, really enjoyed Oblivion.
Same.
It's a lot of weird shit that can happen in that game that is
Hmm.
funny. But yeah, so Xbox Game Pass once more. It's gonna
It's
do the
so
magic.
it's so cool that like you run into people at the gym and you can just
Yeah,
talk
he
about
knows that
that
I'm
kind of
I'm
stuff.
I'm 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 gaming. And I think he knows that I'm a YouTuber a bit as well, because I told another guy, he was wondering, and he was like, "Oh, cool." So he might have been talking about it. Could be, yeah,
Could be,
but
could
it's
be.
funny. But he's an old school gamer. This guy,
Hmm.
the other guy's younger, but he's an old school gamer. So it's easy to talk with him regarding games because he has played so many games that both you and I also has played.
Hmm.
Yeah, we know.
We're
That's
starting to see
beautiful
some
stuff. But
clipping. We're starting to get some clipping, Raj. I don't know what's going on. I'm not
oh,
sure.
really?
Yeah, it's weird. OBS seems to be fine. It's showing green across the board, but uh,
Yeah, it looks good, I believe, in the stream. I'm watching it as we're talking, so hopefully it's okay. I also want to say to you, Nolly, oh, you're waiting for another game, right? Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, coming
mm,
June 5th. Yeah, there is. I think Q said it also early. It looks like a good year for gaming. It's gonna be a lot of good games coming out.
Yeah.
It feels like it. Even though they postponed the release when it comes to GTA 6.
I think GTA 6 is one of those games. It's sort of like when it comes, it comes. I am not looking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it. I understand that they're
Yeah, but
cooking.
it's good too, isn't it? We talked about it's better let them cook. If it's
Yeah.
not ready, it's not ready. Cook, make it ready, and then
Mm-hmm.
it comes out and it's great.
Just put out a good
But
a good
there's one
product.
thing, and I might have mentioned this before, what
Mm-hmm.
EA has done before, and I think they I'm not sure if they're pushing something, but there are quite some rumors now that the new Battlefield game, Battlefield 6, will be released this fall
Mm-hmm.
instead, because they were also looking into Q1 when it comes to 2026.
Mm-hmm.
But rumors are saying now that the new Battlefield game might be released late October, beginning of November.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does, because it's a very important release for the Battlefield series, because
Mm-hmm.
if it's not good this time around,
It's dead.
it's gonna be not good.
Uh,
So I hope they have cooked the meal properly and ready to go. So EA isn't just, since they're the publisher, just okay, we postponed GTA 6. What else do we have here? Hold on a sec. Oh, Battlefield 6. Yeah, we got to release Battlefield 6. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They'll rush it. They'll definitely rush it. But let's
So
hope. Let's hope not. Let's hope we have. I mean, we've got enough games for the year already coming out.
yeah,
It should be a very good year for us as gamers and so forth. And even if we don't count this year, last year was an amazing year to be a gamer. And there's so
it
many
was
games
good.
from last year that I haven't even touched yet that I don't even that I would
Same.
like to play. There were games that came out this year thus far that I haven't even touched yet that I've heard good things about I look forward to jumping into, but I haven't got the time or the possibility to play. There are games from years ago, like God of War Ragnarok, that I'm still playing, years later, trying to complete and enjoying the story and enjoying the gameplay. So I think to a certain extent, developers should just chill a bit. You don't need to put out a game every month and every day, and plus we've got so many developers out there that are making
Yeah.
games. Let's give some space for everyone else. Let everyone get a little bit of space to breathe, so everyone can put out a game, and we can all have something cool. I think maybe all the developers should just come together, have a get together, powwow, and say, okay, cool, we can only have 5 JRPGs this month. We can only have 5 action games this month. We can only have 5 FPS this month. Let's not saturate the market and people come looking for something. And you've got like 20 games in the same genre and they're like, holy crap, which one do I play? And not
Yeah.
that any of the games are bad. Some of them are good, but you're stuck with so many games. You're like, I'll never find time to play any of this.
No, but
So,
of course you got a point. I
yeah,
mean, we talked about that before. It's easy. I mean, if you look at Steam and
yeah.
you actually take some time to sit down and scroll and go through, check. I mean, there's a lot of indie games out there that would be interesting to try out, and
Hmm.
some of them are most likely good, but
There's no time.
there's no time
Yeah.
and not so much exposure either for them, so it never really reaches above the surface, so to say. So it's kind of tough.
It is definitely tough. You can get lost in Steam. Like when I go in there and I'm
Yes,
searching, you get lost. It's like holy crap,
yes,
which is it's a cool thing that a lot of games are still there that you can still find because so many games get delisted and you'll never be able to have access to them again. But at the
yeah,
same time, you could get lost in there for age. You could find a game probably about anything on Steam,
sure,
and it's cool, but it's also terrifying. It's like diving into the sea.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it's true what you say.
Yep, definitely.
Oh man.
Okay, so I think
Uh,
have we done our thing? Do we think we have a
yeah,
thing? Do we have a podcast?
I think so. I think we have a podcast. What do you guys say? No, I think so. We've touched base about what we wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with that said, I hope it's going to be definitely a possible to talk to you guys again next week.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that. As said, there are games coming out, and I want to talk a bit about Doom next week. So let's do that. And yeah, with that said, thanks a lot for being here, supporting, watching, talking, interacting, all that beautiful stuff. Have a great continuation of your week, and I hope to talk to you next week again. So with that said, yeah, stay healthy. muffins. Muffin and out. Too well, muffins.
Beautiful
Muffin and
as
out.
always. You used to actually have a viewer called Muffins, isn't it? I think you had one of your viewers used to be called Muffins.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool that you remember that. I
Yeah.
can tell you something. She's kind of funny. It's interesting. She's been in my streams. She came in yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she's now in her 20s, 20 plus.
I think when she started following you, she was a kid. Like I remember her being a
She
kid.
was 14.
Wow.
The first time. It's 8 years ago. Actually, 8 years ago.
Holy. It's mind blowing
insane.
because I remember I can remember when I think we streamed together. This was way back
probably.
when. And she followed me on Instagram, and I remember saying to you, one of your viewers followed me, and it's like a kid, and you were like, oh yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm not following this person back, right, because it's a kid, right, and she's 20 now. Like it's amazing how time flies, because in the same way, like when I think of Isaac, for example. When we were watching Game of Thrones and Isaac was a kid back then, and now he's a man, he's a grown adult, or Adam is he was living at home and he's a grown adult, and time flies, man. You blink and it's gone. Everything just
it's true.
It's so quick. So shout out to Muffins then.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, she told me something that I will tell you after we're done because I can't say it here in the stream.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
I can see the light is going. There's a reason why I won't turn that light on, and that's because if I turn that light on, anyone outside can see into my living room and see all of me gear, and I don't feel comfortable about that. So I can get up and go close the curtains, or I could just finish the podcast, which is what I've been doing. So that being said, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. As always, you can find Raj pretty much at 40 Splish Splash. That's the number 48 SPLISH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct?
That's correct, man.
And you got to be there on Sunday because that's when he's going to be playing Doom. Isn't that correct?
Ooh, yes.
Beautiful. You can find me at LP Gardner, LPGRDIN. Gardner's out to you pretty much everywhere else. Haven't been streaming or doing any of that kind of stuff, but I do post on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me post what I'm up to and random shenanigans, like me running a race on Sunday. That was on my Instagram, so you can keep up with all the crazy shenanigans that I get up to. You can find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK pretty much everywhere else. And as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Simply Binge, comment as well. And with a comment, I'm going to like it, I will give it for free. So, as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That is the episode. It is dark outside. Well, it's not dark. It's still light, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So
ish darker. Yeah.
We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Yeah. What's this Nalu said? Guidance order. That's the Rune Factory thing. Okay, cool. All right, let's end the podcast. We'll see you guys on